Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with the Soul. And and you can see we've been getting snow here as well, but certainly my best wishes out to everybody on the East Coast, especially who are getting, just pounded by the snow that's there and coming. And just know that, my heart is with you because, living in here, good morning, Kristen, living here in the northern Illinois area. I know I've dealt with a lot of snow all of my life, and it can cause a lot of challenges. So I hope you stay safe, and I wish you well, and I hope everybody's family stays warm. So happy New Year. And in this new year, we're going to be talking about how to heal anything. Good morning, Kathy. How nice to see you. We've been talking about it for a couple weeks. This is the second week. And just to give you a few street creds, I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a shiatsu massage therapist. I'm a body mind expert, and I've recently added the title Master Intuitive Healer because I have spent at least 10,000 hours working with my intuition and helping people heal, especially over the last 10 years that I've been working with people. So, anyways, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're joining us. So we've been talking for the last week and a half how to heal anything, and we talked about creating a healing environment, so that you can stay healthy. We talked about external things that you can do, internal things that you can do to stay healthy. And, we talked about vibration, and we talked about sound and color and life and people and taking time. Good morning, Sharon. And taking time every day to really reconnect and hear what's going on. So yesterday we talked about getting inflammation down. Hi, Marie. Nice to see you. We talked about getting inflammation down and the different ways that you can do that. We were using knees as an example because I've got a lot of women coming to me lately with trying to avoid surgery because they don't want hip surgery or they don't want knee surgery, and they're trying to encourage their body to heal itself. So let me first tell you, it's absolutely possible. There's stories and studies and everything out there about how people encourage the healing process and how we talk to our body and the relationship that we have with it, and learning how to navigate it and encourage it and tell it what we'd like it to do. Now, cultural medicines throughout time have used these sorts of things. They've used metaphors and ceremonies and traditions that have encouraged the body to heal itself in a wide variety of ways, from sweat lodges to sacred fires to, saunas to talking circles to using hot and cold to using energy work and hands-on healing, all of that. So my specialty is how to use the body-mind and how to use the body-mind to heal things. So if we're talking about our knee, let's say you're trying to avoid surgery on your knee or your hip, and you've created a good environment for yourself. You're starting to do a lot of great self-care things. And you did some of the inflammation things we talked about yesterday about getting activity and life and movement back into that area. Then when the inflammation gets down, you have a very special opportunity. I'm going to tell you a story. When I get sick, let's say with the flu, and it doesn't happen very often. It happens, like maybe every 7 or 8 years or so. But when it happens, where my whole body, blows up with a fever and blows up with pain and everything aches and you can feel everything, that is my perfect opportunity. And I wait. I don't take anything to take the pain away for a little bit, because it's a way to feel and hear how my body is attached to each other, how to feel, what muscles are attached where, how to feel my lymph system working, how to feel my blood pulsing. I feel my heart more. When your body is inflamed, if it's too far, you can't feel anything because you feel terrible. But if you've been able to get the inflammation down, good morning, Bijal, nice to see you. If you're able to get the inflammation down so that it's tolerable and you can start working with it and moving with it, I would suggest not taking anything yet to numb the pain, to push you through, because it's a great opportunity to learn to listen to your body, to learn to hear what your body, how it actually works. Good morning, Margie. One of the reasons I'm good at intuitive healing is because I know a lot about how the body works, because I've gone through these experiences with myself, with other people, of helping us heal and learning what's attached. Why does it work that way? How do we work? I'm a body, mind, nerd. I'm always looking at the research. How does our heart work? How does our lymph system work? How does, our thoughts affect our immune system? How does fasting work? All of that. So with your knee, or your hip or your body in some way incapacitated, I want you to pay attention to it. I want you to feel, not only by paying attention to it with your conscious mind, but also with your hands, and with other things, to really feel what it's like in there, to feel where the tender spots are, what the muscles feel like above and below, where there's tenseness, where there's knots, where the fluid's hanging out, where the fluid seems to be moving, where the temperatures are hot or cold. And when you walk or move or use it on the stairs, I want you to listen to it. Is it clicking? I want you to pay attention to whether it twists or moves a little bit, whether it's the lead leg. Which leg's your dominant leg? How does your hip, how's your hip part of it? How about how your foot lands? Look at how your foot's landing, and when it lands one way, you feel maybe the tweak in your knee here, and when it lands the other way, you feel the tweak in the other side. This is a method called Feldenkrais, which has been around for decades. It was started by a man named Moshe Feldenkrais, and his wife was a pediatrician, and so she, of course, worked with children, and he studied how these children's bodies worked, and the basis of what natural movement looks like, what healthy natural movement looks like. And in the course of these studies and putting everything together, kind of like how I do with it all, he realized that being aware of your body and what was going on was one of the biggest ways to change it, because it not only gives you information about how you work, it also then, of course, as we've talked about, sends blood and lymph and all sorts of things there. When you pay attention to different parts of your body, when you listen to it and feel its range of motion, you're gathering information about yourself. You're bringing your consciousness back to it. And the more information your subconscious, conscious, and unconscious mind has about how something works, the better your intuition, the better choices you make. One of the ways that women get into trouble is that they notice something, but they blow it off. We say, oh, yeah, I probably should get up. I probably should move. I probably should do something different. But I really have to get this done, so I'm going to push through, and I'm going to power through. And so then they ignore it, and they get into their head, and they don't feel their body anymore. And then an hour and a half later, they realize they can't move, or that they're having knee problems, or their hips flared up again. All of those sorts of things they start to notice because they took their consciousness out of their body and they weren't aware of what was going on. One of the neatest ways to make choices is when you bring the subconscious and the unconscious parts of how you work into your conscious mind, into those few little tablespoons that we call our identity or we call ourselves. So when you can pay attention when you're having a problem to the range of motion, where you feel a pull, how something is attached. If you can stand in the shower and look at your feet and see if, one's canted, see if you're pronated or if your, foot's going the opposite direction, if you feel that you're putting most of your weight on one leg rather than the other, if you're sitting in a chair, if you're noticing which butt cheek you're sitting on, which foot's hitting the ground, or if your legs are crossed, or if your ankles are crossed, if you constantly do it the same way. Let me tell you, the patterns you are unconscious of, or barely conscious of, are the causes of your body breaking down. They are the reason your body breaks down, because you continue doing patterns which you aren't aware of, which cause areas of your body to wear out, some parts of your body to work harder than others, cause some muscles to be overstretched and then to spasm up in order to keep their integrity. It's the patterns that cause your digestive system to go wacky, that cause your heart not to work as well, that cause your blood vessels to stay closed, and that cause your migraines, and all of those things. It's your patterns of engaging with life, of living life, that cause most of these problems. Even environmental problems, even relationship problems. If you continue to work someplace that, if you're sensitive to toxic chemicals, and you are, and you continue to work there, it's that pattern that will cause problems in your body. Now, a lot of times we're not aware of what's going on. We are so busy with life, we've got so much we have to do, that we have no idea what our patterns are. And if you don't know what your patterns are, then you can't change them. And so when something hurts, when something is, not so intolerable you totally have to check out, but when it's tolerable, I want you to start learning who you are, learning how you work, watching what your patterns are. And the beautiful thing is now change them up. So one of the foundations of Feldenkrais is, it's not that there's a right way to move and a wrong way to move, because that's a pattern as well. That's a pattern of, I'm only going to move this way, I'm going to sit up straight, I'm going to put my shoulders back, I'm going to have my chin up, I'm going to pretend that I've got a string running through my spine, and I'm going to sit up straight, and that's how I'm going to sit all the time, because that's the right way to sit. That pattern will create use and wear patterns in your body. It will create nervous system patterns. It will create brain patterns. And other parts of your body will be neglected. And so you'll only be using, 10%, let's say, of your resources available to you. You've got this whole miraculous body that has the ability to do virtually anything. You've got all of these resources available to you. You've got the air. When you breathe, it helps you move. How you move your eyes helps you move. All of that stuff, it helps, it's available to you to use. And so when you can bring it out of the subconscious, your patterns, and learn more about how you work, then you can use everything that's available to you. And honestly, I come to women, and lately I've got a lot of women lately who are having to go on rest from work. Their doctors are saying, you have to take 2 weeks off. I'm sorry, you have to recover. And then when you go back, you have to put these structures into place, and this is how you have to live your life. Well, that's great, but you still have your life to live, and it's, and you're still going to think, I can't take 20 minutes off to do this. I can't take an hour off to do this. I just can't. I still have to get these things done. These people still need me. Good morning, Danny. Nice to see you. And so we fall right back into the same pattern that we were in. But if you change even just one pattern, let's say you're breathing. Let's say you notice which butt cheek you're sitting on, and, every half hour, you sit on the other butt cheek instead. Let's say you walk down the hall, and you decide this time when you walk down the hall, you're going to make your opposite foot dominant. Let's say you decide that this time while you're standing in the grocery store or the shower, you're going to stand on the other leg, or you're going to wear your purse on the other side, or you're going to pick up your kid every so often with the other side. It's about balance. Good morning, Barbara. It's about using every part of your body that's available to you, breaking your habits and your patterns, and just adding in something new. So when your knee's bugging you, don't check out. Don't ignore it and get mad at it and frustrated with it that it doesn't work the way that it's supposed to do. It's there to teach you and for you to listen to it. And the more that you listen to your body and not try to necessarily figure it out. A lot of times when you think about listening, we're like, what is my body saying? What is it saying? Oh no, is it telling me that I'm, this or that or the other thing? What does it mean? Get past that. Right now, you don't need to think about what it means. Because when you spend so much time in your head trying to figure out what you're doing means, you're not really listening anymore, are you? And we know that's true in all of the conversational, workshops and trainings and HR stuff that we've done. When we think about what something means, we're no longer paying attention to what we feel, to the different connections and the different, how things are working and how they work together and synergize together. So just for the little while, if you want to heal something, whether it be your heart, whether it be your knees or your hip or your head or your headaches or your skin, whatever it may be, or your relationships, just for the time being today, I want you to listen. I want you to notice your patterns. I want you to notice what you're doing. And all you have to do is just change one thing. Doesn't matter what it is. Change your pattern in one way and notice how, and listen to what changing your pattern does. One of the neat things that I do is when I walk, I change up which leg is dominant. And I hadn't done that for a number of years because, I felt better, I felt good, why pay attention to this, what's going on? And then my hips started bothering me because I was laying around too much over the Christmas break, sitting on the couch, not doing anything, and I wasn't moving enough. And my old hip, which, has given me problems in the past, started bothering me again. And I was like, wow, what's going on? So the next time I walked around the track, I changed up my legs to make my left leg dominant. And that's when I was able to notice how stiff it was, the poor range of motion it had, how it didn't move very well, because it was always used to its place, its role, what it was supposed to do in the relationship of my body, and it wasn't being challenged to do anything different. When something isn't challenged, when it's not used, when parts of it aren't used, then it gets sick and you have problems with it. So when you change things up, you're able to catch things before they become problems, and you're able to course correct. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to listen to your body today and to change one thing up and listen to that too. So the wider variety of things you do, the better you learn about how your body works. The better you learn how your body works, the better your intuition and your intuitive healing gets. And you become much better at course correcting before something becomes a big problem that requires surgery or requires a big life change or divorce or quitting your job, and storming out, or getting rid of the guy and finding a new one, or all of those things that happen. You're able to avoid most anything if you have really good intuitive sense. And if you have good intuitive sense, it's because you've listened and you've gained information and you know how you work. So that's it for today. Leave some comments if you'd love. We've got one more on how to heal anything tomorrow, and it's going to be how to specifically direct your healing, how to look at the problem that you have and direct healing towards it. So kind of like the last piece, which most people probably would have thought would have been the whole thing. That's it. Nope. The directing your healing is the last part of the whole puzzle. Good morning, Brenda. Nice to see you. So I'll see you tomorrow. Stay warm, stay dry, and have a great day. Bye.